Salvage, a story by user Rantarian. Chapter 7, Incompetence in Command. 65 million years ago, the Zardursil drifted in high orbit above the outpost world of Afrag, its engines inert and few remaining hands standing by as the emergency meeting was convened in the war room adjoining the command deck. Shiplord Za waited for the last of his senior officers to seat themselves before him. Their faces were all somber. These meetings were only for critical situations, and they knew what was coming would not be good news. "My fellow Vistraki," he said, greeting them as fellow beings rather than subordinates, a fact that was not lost on them. "I have received some truly devastating news." He paused, letting them prepare themselves, although the tension in the air was palpable. 5 Terak, 5 days, ago, our beautiful homeworld was directly targeted by the Agrarian Alliance, in a successful attack on a scale we have never before witnessed. The planet we called home is no longer habitable, and all those we loved are gone. There were shocked murmurings around the table, disbelief that the Agrarian Alliance could be so bold, or so competent. The Vistraki had found the galaxy a surprisingly easy target, given their flimsiness compared to other creatures on their homeworld, and each Vistraki warrior was worth 100 or more of any Agrarian species. "Shiplord," Var called out from his seat, the seat reserved for the second-in-command. "How is this even possible? The last reports I saw showed the Agrarian military in tatters and their worlds in ruin." "A simple act of desperation, Var," Za replied. "A cloaked asteroid of significant size. It was not detected until the debris field it carried with it was already crashing through the orbital defense network. It is clear that they hoped this action to cripple the Empire, and I am sorry to say they were correct." The officers were aghast. The homeworld effectively destroyed, and with it, almost all of the females the Vistrak Empire had, was a devastating blow. But the orbital defenses had included manufacturing yards, colonial stations, and more. With all that gone, the Vistrak Empire had lost its core world and more than 90% of the population. "The Zardursil is one of the few warships not currently engaged in battle," Za continued. "And you all know that this was because we were awaiting a refit. Our crew are few, our weapons outdated, and our complement of exterminator drones is down to just 1 unit with a dead battery." "We should still strike back," hissed Var. "We cannot allow this to go unpunished." "The Zardursil is not prepared for combat duty," Za spit back. "If we were to direct it into battle, it would be overwhelmed by Agrarian drones. We would die, and the ship would become theirs. I will not allow this to transpire." Var looked like he was about to say something, but a glare from Za and he remained silent. They were all under immense stress, and the only way they would get through it would be to stick to the Warriors' Code. "We have lost contact with several major colonies more recently," Za continued. "No inspection has yet been made on those systems, but the Agrarian are not particularly cunning, and it is likely that they have repeated their plan on the colonies they are aware of." "What about Afrag, Shiplord?" asked Tachot, the senior medical officer to the Zardursil, and Za's good friend. "Are they likely to strike here? Afrag is a new colony, and would not be known to them yet," Za replied. "They are under instructions to disable all communications and other detectable systems until further notice is given." "What is the plan for us, Shiplord?" Var asked. Za sighed. "It cannot be helped that we cannot enter the battle, but our forces are deploying fission drones against all known enemy strongholds. It is against the Galactic Charter, yes, but they broke it first, and this is now a matter of our survival. Do not doubt that the enemy has embarked upon a campaign of total genocide." 2 Kadra, 2 months, had passed, and the Zardursil had not moved from its orbit above Afrag. The colony was still running silent, as was the Zardursil, and nerves were frayed. Za had had an argument with Var in full view of the crew, and had then been forced to dispense final justice to subdue any further resistance to his continued command. 5 ships, 3 colonies, Dorn reported in their first private meeting with him as second-in-command. "That is how many Vistrak holdings remain, including the Zardursil and Afrag." "Then our enemy came very close to victory," Za said. He felt sick. "With those numbers, there may be too few for the Vistrak race to recover. Very few females had been allowed to leave the homeworld. and as a result, almost all of their eggs had been in that one basket. "Our enemy is dead," Dorn stated. "There have been no further encounters since the fission drones were deployed, and the remaining fleet was annihilated." "I cannot believe they are all gone," Za said. "I doubt we have been quite so thorough. What is the report on the homeworld?" "Dust chokes its atmosphere," Dorn reported. "Scientific projections show the climate has been irrevocably altered, and the temperature has dropped sharply. It is unlikely that it will ever be habitable again." "Then the war is over, and now we must attempt to rebuild," Za decided. He had been considering the next course of action for some time, and had finally come to the only conclusion available. "We're going to have to abandon the Zardasil." Dorn stared at him. "Shiplord?" "There are no more refit stations, Dorn," Za told him. "This ship is a relic, in dire need of repairs that we cannot give it, and we no longer have an empire to serve." "That is treason," Dorn said in horror. "It is truth," Za replied fiercely. "You said it yourself. 5 ships, 3 colonies. How many females in those colonies, Dorn? Have you read that? I have, and that's why I know that our greatest duty is to our species." Dorn frowned and looked through the details on his datapad. Then he frowned more. "That's not—" "I know," Za said. "Afrag has 5, and that's as many as at Kolvu and Gricht combined. The other ships are full of males, Dorn, but they are far from Afrag, and are likely to converge on the other 2 colonies." "You're suggesting we become colonists?" Dorn asked dubiously. "I am no farmer." "Then be a hunter," Za said. "Be whatever you want, but you will be amongst 50 males vying for the attentions of 5 females, rather than 300 males vying for the attentions of 2 or 3. Dorn was silent, thoughtful. He nodded after some time. "As you say, Shiplord. It seems to be the wisest option available to us." "Good," Za said, pleased, while also regretting the necessity of abandoning his ship. "We will announce it to the crew together, and then we will begin to strip the vessel of anything that may be useful in our new home." Present day. Trikror was still, not wanting to give the Kortai a reason to shoot her. He was smart. He'd already talked her into giving away the fact that the bombs were fake, and she no longer doubted that he could foresee any action she might take. She couldn't even look at Adrian. She was so ashamed of her ineptitude and cowardliness. She obeyed the Kortai's orders once the truth had come out, and although she felt completely guilty over this, she didn't want to die. Now she just waited for the others to give themselves up to whatever the Kortai had in mind, and hoped they felt merciful. "Yeah, nah," said Adrian, and Trikror finally looked at him in shock. "Good," Beckmer said smugly, clearly pleased with his own deviousness. "Now, if you will just—" "That means no," Cheer interrupted. "A positive followed by a negative is a negative. The reverse is also true." Beckmer paused, confused. "Is that true?" Adrian lowered the barrel of his gun to point it at Beckmer. "Nah, yeah." "I told you," Beckmer began. "I told you that you were dumber than a box of rocks," Adrian said. "Mate, you will comply or die. The cerebral detonators—" "Fuck you," Adrian said again, interrupting. "If you could kill us all that way, you wouldn't need Trioffa to point the ship's guns at us. Maybe you kill these guys, but will Trioffa be fast enough to save you from me?" Beckmer was silent, and even his light gray skin seemed a little paler than it had a moment ago. Adrian had bared his teeth into a grin again, but Trikror saw no friendliness there now. She'd learned that the nature of a human grin could be read in their eyes, and all she saw there now was the black savagery of a Deathworlder. "You're going to do exactly what I fucking tell you, you bold little shit," Adrian told the Kortai vehemently. "That is your way out of this. If you fight me, I will fucking kill you. If you use your little detonator, I will kill you as slowly and agonizingly as possible." Adrian leaned in towards the quickly wilting Kortai. "Do you fucking understand me, asshole?" He screamed with so much fury that the little alien actually fell over backwards in terror. Trikror nearly fled as well. Such was the force of the violent intent surrounding the human. "A fucking yes will do!" Adrian spat at the fallen Kortai. Yes," Beckmer whispered. "Good," Adrian grunted, still staring down the Kortai leader. "Trioffa, do you hear me?" "I can," her voice rang out from the ship. It was as shaky as Trichlor felt. "The deal is still on the table," he said. "If you're interested in taking charge of this arsehole and getting these detonators out, we'll help you out until we can get home." Everyone waited, and the silence seemed to go on forever. The cold knot of terror tightened in Trichlor's belly as she tried to guess what would happen next. "Beckmer?" Triafa's voice rang out again. "Your detonator code has been disabled. In accordance with the charter relating to incompetence in command, I am replacing you as commander of the salvage team and am placing you in confinement in the Zottersil's brig." Alright guys, so that was a nice short little chapter. I should have another one coming out here in like an hour, hour and a half. It just depends. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Been seeing really big numbers the last month or so, and I really appreciate it. We just passed 200 subscribers. I'm still trying to think of something to do for that celebration. I just don't know. Is there like a story that everyone would want to hear? Like I could do like a really good one-off or something like that, or I could do a dance party. I mean, I don't know. We could do a live dance party. Everyone could, I don't know. I could do like a stream and we could all pick songs. I think I'd get hit with copyright strikes for that shit if I tried to do like dance parties with music. I think you get in trouble for that. I'm not really sure though. It's been a while since like I streamed on Twitch and stuff. Which, hey guys, check that out. I'm probably gonna be reviving that at some point. I will do my Twitch streams and then I'll upload them to a second channel that I'm gonna be making. And on those streams, I think that what I'm gonna do is record live so that anyone who wants to see me record the stuff live and see some of the bloopers and stuff that happens, because I edit most of those out. I know every once in a while I don't catch them, but I edit most of those out, and there's some that are pretty freaking funny. So if you guys are interested in that, just let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed it, please give it a like. I hate shilling for this kind of stuff, but it seems to be the only way to really make the channel grow. Consistently put stuff out and beg for likes and subscriptions. So please like and subscribe. My family needs to eat. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you all later, and I'll see you guys.